Yes, welcome back to the second segment of today's Good Morning Anambra. You see, inclusion remains a critical part of electioneering in any part of the world. And now we're going to experience the governorship election of Saturday, 8th of November 2025. And here in the studios, we want to take a look at a great number of things that affect persons with disabilities. Yes, because one particular group that continues to advocate for greater participation and accessibility is the community of persons with disabilities, PWDs.
Right, from inaccessible polling units to communication barriers and lack of assistive voting materials, people with disabilities often face unique challenges that can limit their right to vote. Now, but things are beginning to change with growing awareness, advocacy, and policies aimed at ensuring equal participation. So today we take a look at the topic Anambra 2025 Guber election, making voting accessible for persons with disabilities.
And so joining us this morning to discuss this important topic is the State Chairman of the Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities, JNAPUD, Anambra State Chapter, Mazi Ugochukwu Okeke. Comrade Ugo, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Anambra.
Okay, and just beside him is the Public Relations Officer of JNAPUD, Anambra State, and we are talking about Chidimma Ajemba. Comrade Chidimma Ajemba, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning, ma. Good morning, Anambra.
We can't hear you, comrade. Talk like a comrade now.
Good morning, ma. Good morning, Anambra.
Okay, you are all welcome to ABS TV this morning. Well, let's start off, Comrade Ugochukwu, let's start with you. How would you describe the current voting situation as it concerns inclusivity in Anambra State?
Thank you very much for this question. Coming to inclusivity or inclusion in electoral processes in Anambra State, I want to categorically state here that things are improving. It is no longer the same way it has been, for the past 10 years. Okay. It is no longer the same now.
But you're not satisfied?
Yeah, we still have some gaps, but we have left where we were, and we are coming close to where we are expected to be as long as inclusion is concerned when we talk about elections. Yeah, because before now, people barely talk about persons with disabilities participating in election. But now, INEC, both national and state, we are deliberate and intentional in making every good effort to ensure that no persons with disabilities are left behind in all these processes of election, especially looking at the election we'll have in 2 days' time. They started by letting us know when their timetable came out. And from that time, we persons with disabilities as organization, JNAPUD, started to mobilize our members immediately to go for their voter registration. And after their voter registration, INEC continued to engage us, to sensitize us on the need for our members to participate, telling us the provisions they have made to enable us to participate.
Okay, now Chidimma, do you have a contrary view from what Ugo has told us?
No.
Do you think there has been an improvement?
Yeah, there has been improvement, and for persons with disability, it looks like our mindset has changed as well. And for now, we now know that it's even our right to come out and vote, because of the inaccessibility of polling units and all that in previous years, it tends to discourage persons with disability. But this year and subsequent years before, we are more ready, and we now are eager to come out and vote.
All right, let's look at some of the key barriers people with disabilities face during voter registration and, of course, on election days. What are some of these challenges you face?
Yeah, the major challenges we face is, lack of adequate data, disaggregated data of persons with disability. That is the major challenge we have. Because if we have adequate data disaggregation of persons with disabilities.
The number.
Yes.
And their needs.
And the needs and even the classifications of persons with disabilities. It will now help INEC to plan properly. Because INEC will not be able to plan properly to know where persons with visual impairment are voting, for them to be able to provide ballots, ballot paper. Okay? And they will not be able to know the number of deaf people that are voting and where they are voting, so that they will know where they have good number of them to assign a sign language interpreter. And if they don't know the number of persons with disabilities that are using wheelchair, they will not be able to conduct polling unit accessibility audit. To know.
So what's a polling unit accessibility audit? What is it like? What does it entail?
It's like INEC going to all the polling units to ascertain if the ballot box where they're keeping it is adequate, where somebody on a wheelchair will be able to access it.
Okay, like putting it in a very, maybe
in a high,
where we have staircases, they go and keep it at the top of the staircase.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it will be difficult for somebody on a wheelchair to be able to access that ballot box in order to put his or her ballot. And you know what it means. More especially now, people are interested to know where you voted or who you voted for. They would like you to, expose it. But if that ballot box is in a place where somebody on a wheelchair can easily slot it in, the vote will remain secret. Okay. Yeah. And again, this issue of knowing whether the places, the polling unit is at the center where the sun can disturb somebody who is somebody with albinism. Because it is important if they have a hall or maybe a shade where those polling booths can be situated. Because if they situated it at the center of the field, automatically somebody who is a person with albinism may not find it easy to stay there for a long time because of the sun. So these are the things INEC should do even before the election to ascertain how those places or how those materials and those places the election will be conducted is accessible to every classes of persons with disabilities.
What about, during elections, there's almost a sit-at-home order, except for those who are going to, to vote, and that's why they ask you to, register at the polling unit nearest to you. So people, cars and vehicles don't move around easily. So for persons with disabilities, is it on the positive side or on the negative side?
It is seriously on the negative side. Because for a person, it is true that INEC has done a lot to, bring out more polling units. But for me, where I am supposed to vote is very far from where I'm staying. Okay. So before I'll be able to vote, even next Tuesday.
Do you have tags that you use to?
That's what I'm coming to that, because that's the problem we know, and we have been hammering it and discussing it with security agencies. But luckily enough, last time we engaged with them, they promised us that once any person with disability has his or her voter's card, that will serve as a gate pass. That once you have your voter's card and you are free to engage a cyclist or a motorist, whoever you want to engage, to take you to your polling unit. That once you show them your voter's card and they verify that you're a person with disability, that they will grant you a pass.
So a person with disabilities voter's card can get past the vehicle that is carrying him or her.
That's what they told us. Though we have written a letter to them to make it more official, which I'm going to go to the office today.
That's your association?
Yes,
on that.
We have written a letter to make it official so that we have it documented, so that we can even circulate it to our platform so that our members can print it and have it with them.
All right, so that's beautiful. So, Dr. Comrade Ejemba, Dr. or rather Comrade Ugochukwu was talking about, making some of these ballot boxes very easily accessible to people with disabilities, so that they slot in their vote easily. So can you put more points on, some of the assistive tools that can help you guys vote better, as ballot guides, also sign language interpreters, like he also did mention, and also priority voting lanes being adequately provided for PWDs?
Okay, yeah. Because we have different clusters of persons with disability, we also have different challenges as well. For the deaf people, one of the assistive tools that INEC is meant to provide is to paste a form that is called Form EC30. This form, when it's being pasted to a polling unit that a deaf person is meant to cast his or her vote, he or she can look at the form and see the instructions there and do the casting by himself and actually make a secret ballot voting without anybody interfering. Again, there is also a form that is called Form EC40H. That form is meant to collect the data of persons with disability that are voting in a particular polling unit. But most times, because ad hoc styles are being overwhelmed, most times they don't display all these forms, and at the end of the day, they don't take the adequate
They are
data.
giving the forms, but they don't
Yes,
use it.
exactly. Most times, some of
They don't
them
even know what
don't
it
know.
means.
And when you tend to, like, inquire for the form, is either they tell you they do not come with it or they cannot locate where the form is at the moment. And at the end of the day, for instance, in my polling unit, the data that INEC have is that it's only person with albinism that is voting in that polling unit. But I know I've voted like 3 times in that polling unit. And because I've not been able to fill that form, they don't know about me. And you will see they will not make adequate provisions for me. For instance, we are talking about the polling box. Sometimes it becomes too tiny that your wheelchair cannot even go inside. So when you even cast your vote, you will still give it to someone else, to put it inside the box. Then we also
So
have
someone has to put it on your behalf.
yeah.
All right.
Then you also have the braille ballot paper for the blind people. Most times they don't come with it, and even when they do, they don't display it, and they don't even take note of persons with visual impairment that needs it. That's one thing I think INEC is doing differently, like involving security people to like get to locate sight persons with disability that they can call their notice to. Like this time around, they involve like civil defense agency, so that whenever they cite a person with disability, they can now help to bring them to the front, because it's always crowded. And even if when they create a queue, a priority queue for person with people with disability and older people, you see people joining in the queue and thereby causing chaos. We also have what we call the magnifying lenses for person with albinism. This is
Have you ever seen it?
yes,
Yes, do bring it.
they do, but not most times. You find it within Oka, but in hinterlands you might not see
You
it
may
there,
not see
and
it.
that is where we have people with albinism. Thank you.
Okay, now when you were talking, you mentioned some forms.
Yeah.
Which, but I know that in the past, some of you have complained about it not being sufficient, sufficiently distributed, and then now you just told us that when they are sufficiently distributed, the polling clerks or the ad hoc staff don't know much about it, or maybe they are so overwhelmed that they couldn't use it. So have you tried? Well, before you came in, the last program we had young people complaining of INEC not attending to, their fora, campaign fora, pre-election campaign fora, and they were not happy about it. Now, did you have a one-on-one with INEC on these issues this period? Did you have any program you organized for your people about this election, or maybe you collaborated with people? Did INEC actually attend? And was INEC able to take down all these grievances of yours?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, of course, we've had several voter education interactions with INEC, and this time around they've promised that they are going to man a particular person that will take care of those forms, because it's very important. There's no need of printing all of those forms, and at the end of the day, we are not using them.
Are you sure they were properly trained?
They said that this time around they are going to train the ad hoc staff, because for the main INEC officials, they are aware of all these forms and assistive devices, but for the ad hoc staff, because they rushly train them, they don't know anything about it, and because they're also overwhelmed, they don't even take note of it at all. Better still, they are not ready to look out for the form. But INEC has promised us that it is not going to be business as usual, and we as persons with disability, we also go there and request for that form. And I mean, the onus is on us to request for the form. because it's very important for us to use those forms. So that's it. So let's hope that we hold them by their words this time around, ma'am.
Then, in addition to what Chidinma has said, we have also, suggested to INEC, because we are the people that needed that data to be captured. We have suggested to them to partner with us, that we can give them our people that we man that form, so that they will be sure. Because the issue we normally have with them is that when we complain that we don't see those forms, or people telling us that they are not aware of the form, or maybe they are not with it, meaning that maybe they don't know about it, basically because we know that some people usually drop down. Those people they trained. Some people, backed out, maybe for one reason or the other, for not, going for the job as they were trained.
Okay.
So because of that, they will have that gap. They will not be able to inform those people that they will, recruit, impromptu. They will not have the opportunity to train them the same way they trained the other ones that said, no, we will no longer work, do this work as an adult staff. So we have suggested to them, for them to be able to bridge that gap, they should partner with us to deploy our members, because we have our members in every in Anambra State to man that form. We can do that pro bono without them paying us, because we know how important
it is.
And that reminds me, during last election, last gubernatorial election here, for the first time we had persons with disabilities serving as monitors in all over the state and all this. I don't know where we to achieve that feat now during this. Were you trained to do this?
Yes. We are partnering with TAF Africa. In fact, they have done
the Albino Foundation?
Job. Yes, they have done a great job in supporting us to do that this time around. Even as we speak now, training of observers is going on in Okahia. Yeah, so that we are deploying our members in almost all the units, to make sure that we have first-hand information on how these provisions INEC have promised us, how they have been made. And for us to have that first-hand information on how security people that have assured us that they will guarantee our maximum protection during the last election, how they are cooperating with persons with disability to achieve that promises.
All right, we'll take a short break and we get the voices from the street. And when we come back, we'll continue this discussion.
Well, by lightening them, always, when I say mean by lightening them, giving them this insights about the electoral processes, and also trying to not to depreciate them based on their disabilities.
Accessible through with your voter's card and come out in time, 7 a.m. You must be there.
So how do we help those people that are having disabilities, like those blind people, those people that cannot walk?
We have
help them vote?
those people that are working there, not party agents. Those people that are working there, because they are having their training. This is one of the things that we train them. The people will help. Once they say their mind, they are not blind in their mind, only in the sight. Those people will take care of them. Yes.
There are ways to make them accessible, because those that are disability, they can't be able to go into the crowd to go and vote because it's not conducive for them. So I think they should create an avenue, make it official that these ones are those that are disabled, because a lot of all these disabled people, sometimes they feel they feel like they are rejected, their self-esteem is being deprived from them, So creating that avenue, it gives them the power and the enablement that they are among the society. So when such place is created for them, they can go and cast their votes to the people of them, to the, of their choice. So if the governor or the people that are running for the governorship can be able to create it, it will even give them the hope that they belong in the society. So I think Anambra State should look into it and make it available for them, because a lot wants to queue in to this election, because a lot of things are happening in Nigeria. So everyone is trying to make it right. So it is right to create an avenue for them so that they can be able to cast their votes.
I don't think much needs to be done. The polling booths are not often upstairs. It's a question of somebody pushing them into the booth and they're voting. Depending on the type of disability, if there's one they can use crutches, they can do that. I don't think it's any big problem. Most of our polling booths are downstairs and they can be fairly easily be accommodated.
Segment right here on Good Morning Anambra on ABS television, where we have been discussing the topic Anambra 2025 Guber election, making voting accessible for persons with disabilities. We've been discussing this with Gochku Okeke Comrade, who is the state chairman of the Joint International Association of Persons with Disabilities, and the PRO Chidima Ejemba. We've been having a whole lot on this discussion. Now, back to the discussion. Ajemba, Comrade Ajemba. Let's look at, beyond physical accessibility, because that has been the the bane of the discussion. Let's look at attitude. What are the attitudinal barriers? How can we foster a more respectful and supportive environment for, people with disabilities? Talking about the voters.
Well, don't you think, people disrespect them? Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That is why we are saying that we've been having variety of voter education / disability etiquette with
Can you share experience people said they were disrespected during voting and all this?
Oh, yes, for instance, the queue that I'm talking about. Whenever you request for a queue for persons with disability, the last time I observed, I requested for a queue because I saw a good number of persons with disability. So, and time was coming up, so I knew that it's high time they created a queue for us. Some people were, giving me some attack, and why should they? Are we not human beings? You that came, is it not this person that came just now and all that? So people are yet to understand that we need priority voting.
Yeah.
And that's why we started with the security agencies, because previous to this election, they don't know anything about persons with disability, how to handle laws, or how to even locate us, because there are some disabilities that are not visible. Like a deaf person, you might be talking to a deaf person and you don't know he's a person with disability. It's easier to see someone on crutches and someone on wheelchair than a deaf person. So we've been able to tell them ways to relate with us, and also talk to our people as well, to be patient and calm that day, because everybody's rushing. But the main goal is to cast your votes and making your votes count as well. So people's perception are not 100%, but then we'll get there. And the more we come out to vote, the more they get to know that we are human beings and we also have the right to vote and also be voted for. Thank you.
You want to talk about this, or maybe remind people that we have a disability rights law. That's 2018, and we are using it because it's our law. Can you relate it to some of these violation of rights during elections?
Yeah, Section 52 of Anambra State Disability Rights Law talks about the prohibition of, discriminating against persons with disabilities, especially in politics and elections. And what it means that we, persons with disabilities, have equal rights, like every other person in the society, to vote and to be voted for. Most times people do think that once you have one disability or the other, you don't need to be seen. You need to go by the corner, maybe start begging so that people will be pitying you. But that era has gone. We are in the era of making people to understand that despite we have one disability or the other, we have a lot of potentials in us. We have a lot of abilities in us that make us help us to contribute meaningfully. So I want to let people know that it is now against the law discriminating against persons with disability. When you see persons with disability trying to exercise his right, support him. The law has made it, the electoral law has even made it clear that persons with disabilities will be given priority attention to vote. Whenever you see them coming to vote, despite when they come, allow them to vote. In fact, we normally face these challenges whenever we want to go and allocate our PVCs or even register for vote. We are the mammoth crowd. They don't even want to listen to you. But we will continue to sensitize people. We will continue to appeal to people's conscience to know that nobody is going to become a person with disability.
Can happen to anyone.
Can happen to anyone at any point in time. So what we need from society is not that operation, not pity. We are not enabling environment for us to thrive. We are good to go.
Let's look at political parties. How do we ensure, or rather ensure that people with disability not only just voters, but also become really active participants in government and decision making?
Yeah, over time we have been engaging with political parties, and we are happy to say that I think before now we don't have any, but presently we can talk about 3 political parties that have intentionally made provisions for persons with disability to be part of their structure. Not only calling on us to come and vote for them, they have created some offices for persons with disabilities. They have persons with disability as executive in their ward, some have at their state level, while some have at their national level. So we are making progress.
Okay. Well, I think we are getting to borderline, but before we go, I don't know. This is Anambra, and every person with disability wants to vote. I know it's too late to ask of this, but have you ever thought of having a person with disability becoming the governor of Anambra State? Have you actually thought about it?
Sure.
And do you think that parties are prepared? We just spoke about parties now and democracy. Do you think parties, when they see persons with disabilities who have the ability to rule, can they really, have you sensitized them enough for them to say, let's allow them to, be a part of, to be voted for? Because it's a part of the rights you ask for in disability rights law.
Yes, like I said before now, that some political parties have started to, recognize persons with disability.
So it's gradually.
Because that is where it will start.
Oh, yeah.
Party of a thing is not a giveaway. It's not, it's not a giveaway. You must participate. So what we are doing is to make sure that we get our members get involved at their ward level.
Okay.
Because we have the number. For instance, the people the INEC have captured. I'm not talking about the people they are not. The people they have captured.
You said you don't have data, but at least INEC doesn't have the data.
They've captured few. About 3,459 persons with disabilities will vote in this election by INEC data. Because we know for us we have more than that. Like Chidima said, she has not been captured. Myself has not been captured in my polling unit. As a person with disability voting in that polling unit. So they have a lot to be captured, a lot of votes to be captured. So if we have this great number of persons with disability, we are more committed than another person. If we tell you that we are here, we are there. You understand? So if we can have that block number, and politics is a game of number. In fact, I have told my people that we are going to use our vote to make a statement in Anambra State. In fact, we will make sure that we use our vote to determine who will govern Anambra State.
Wow.
Because we know we are determined.
Okay, so what's your message for Ndi Anambra, especially persons with disabilities, as we move out to vote on 8th November 2025?
I'm calling on my people, persons with disabilities, come out. The INEC has promised us, in fact, not only that they have promised us, we have gone to their office, they have organized programs, we came, they show us all the assistive materials they have provided. So go out and vote. Even this year, they are doing something they have not done before. TAF Africa trained sign language interpreters. And INEC just adopted it and promised that they will deploy, in fact, they have deployed them already. Sign language interpreters to go to some clinic where the people are voting so that they will be able to vote. So nobody will have any excuse this time around not to vote.
Thank
Okay,
you.
and we are now calling on people, especially the police. They should try as much as possible to do as they promise, because I believe that if there is peaceful election, there must be increase in participation of persons with disability.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Chidinma, what's your last message on the program?
For persons with disability, let's go out and vote. Let's shun vote buying and also shun disinformation, rumors, and all that. It is high time we show our strength by voting, so that at the end of the day we can engage the government with the number of voters, the number of persons with disability that voted.
And
let's
you-
be peaceful as well.
Okay, I wanted to ask you, do you believe that the election will be peaceful?
Of course,
Oh.
I believe.
We believe. I believe.
Yeah,
You didn't
we-
say I
we-
believe.
no, of course,
Do
we-
you
we
believe
trust-
that the
Yeah.
2025 election that will come up on Saturday will be peaceful?
Yes,
I
I
believe.
believe. I
Well,
believe.
that's how we're thanking you, Chidinma Jemba, who is the is it a Mandela
Yeah.
Fellow? She's also a Mandela Fellow. She has gone to is it America? Or, you know, due to her activities on persons with disabilities. And the same thing is Ugo. Ugo, one day you go to the Mandela,
Sure.
you know, you become a Mandela Fellow
Sure,
one day
sure.
because your activities are top notch.
Thank you.
Well, thank you,
Thank
Ugochukwu
you, thank you,
Okeke,
thank
the
you.
chairman of Jenapid Anambra State.
We appreciate.
Chidinma, PRO of Jenapid Anambra State.
Thank you, ma'am.
And thank you, Obinna Ikechukwu of ABS. Now. Thank you.
It's good having me.
Thank me now. I just thanked
I
you.
said, yeah, it's good having me.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, let me
Thank you,
come
thank you
back.
for, thank you for having me too.
Look at you.
Thank you, Fee, for coming around today, trying to put things around, because she actually does work hard a lot, all right?
Yeah, you don't work hard.
So sometimes you see her, you know, always on everybody, but she's really lovely and hardworking. All right, so that's what we can give you on today's edition of the Good Morning Anambra discussion segment. Do join us again tomorrow, and hopefully we have a very peaceful election coming up on Saturday. Do not forget that tomorrow is public holidays, all right?
But not for you anyway,
So
not for
that, so
him.
that ball you're going to play on Saturday morning, play it tomorrow morning. All right.
Okay,
that's
so
it.
shortly at 10, we'll have Akopowa, and then we also have Sports Smash at 10:30. John, don't go anywhere. We'll have a lot for you.